we're back. This is CCW TV, coming to you from Dreamland Comics in Schaumburg, Illinois. Thank you for joining us. I'm Elliot. This is Jose, joined by his friend Avi.
I'm your friend, too.
Thank you. I didn't want to assume.
I'm also your friend. Internet public.
We're having a discussion on this special edition of CCW TV about the issue of swiping, specifically starting out with the talk about Nick Simmons' Incarnate from Radical Publishing, which has gotten us into some spirited discussions about what's right, what's not, and how the anime and manga community have really integrated with the rise of the internet. Before we even started recording all these segments, Avi, because Avi is, again, an artist, and you can check out his stuff on the DeviantArt page. We'll put, you don't want? No?
Now they're going to steal it.
That's right. Oh, yeah, but, well, you have that one, like, really good arm that you drew.
Hey, you know? Take whatever you take.
It might be in the in Nick Simmons' next
Nick Simmons' next comic. We were talking about, we're saying within the book, there's a lot of emulation. Can we say that? Emulation of the artistic
No, we could just
style.
say that he stole it.
And
allegedly,
when it comes to when you're doing interiors, when your stuff looks like everyone else's, that's kind of like, that's kind of what you're shooting for. But
wait, what?
No, I'm just saying there's a but when it comes to the cover of the book, it does not benefit you so that your cover looks like everybody else's stuff out there,
sure, because
it just doesn't stand out. You don't want your comic book cover to look like every other comic on the stands, because it's just going to blend in. And I just was walking through Dreamland, and I just found this. I'm not trying to say anything, I'm not trying to assert anything, I was just tickled pink when I saw this. So you have Avengers the Initiative here with Taskmaster. Why is Taskmaster over Thor?
Because he took down Thor in season number 1.
He took down Thor? No, I thought that was the UFOs that took him down.
Well, he was with them.
Oh, okay. There you go.
He's poking his sword in his face.
Sword. Yeah, he's poking.
So phallic.
Okay, so Avengers the Initiative, and from Wildstorm, Dante's Inferno. Now look at that. I mean, I think somebody should have said, well, we need to, look.
Yeah, it's probably more of a coincidental. Like it is
coincidental.
Unfortunately, had very similar coloring, very similar layout. I mean, it's a vertical line.
I know, but look at that. It's like almost.
They both have white boxes with numbers and lines in it. What the hell?
Yeah, they look exactly the same.
That scanning something? Crazy. Yeah.
I'm just saying, it's just one of those funny things. I just found it amusing.
Hilarious, even.
I mean, it's an interesting.
That happened. It's a coincidence. I'm saying. There is. I'm not trying to say that they were ripping anybody.
Right, but
ripping anybody off.
It kind of points to the fact that visual coincidences do happen.
Yeah,
and that's an interesting thing for some other maybe next year when I come on. We can talk about how comic book covers are different than they used to be.
If the industry's still around next year. Because
What's up, Comics Journal?
What's up? Exactly.
It's such a. Comics industry's been dying for.
Because if you've been reading the internet for the last month, that new iPad is going to kill the industry.
Sweet.
No, I can't wait.
I would love it.
So anyway, back to the issue of swiping. I don't think we're going to ever really settle the whole debate here.
Wait,
right.
Well,
not that
there's
we're
no
trying
debate. Swiping is wrong.
Yeah.
You shouldn't swipe. It's like saying stealing is wrong. I understand if you have to feed your family and you got to steal the loaf of bread, but it's still wrong. So you shouldn't do it.
Right, and when we're talking about swiping, and then you brought up in the last segment, is he swiping or is he appropriating the style? Now, there's a big difference between swiping and appropriating the style. And when you appropriate it, again, going back to the 90s, when Joe Madureira and Ed McGuinness came onto the scene, they weren't swiping per se, but they were appropriating certain styles. And it was just, I don't know if that Joe Madureira and Ed McGuinness both started appropriating the style of a Capcom character designer named Bangus. It just happened to be the same guy that they both. But then when you look at Battle Chasers, right?
Mm-hmm. Which I really liked.
No, I liked it too.
Yeah.
But when you look at that book was nothing but appropriating
Costume
designs. I mean, you look at the main character, and his sword was the Eye of Thundera from Thundercats.
I remember that.
You look at the character Red Monica. Red Monica was designed in the same style that Japanese character designer named Tsukasa Kotobuki. Exact same style. So that is appropriate.
Also, Red Sonja, it's kind of like a nod
it's
to that type of thing.
It isn't not to that, but I mean, I'm talking about the specific style that she was designed and was from that character designer. And that's appropriating the style. Ed McGuinness has refined his style a lot from back then, but that's kind of where all these guys started building from.
And he did the work. I mean, he could draw.
Exactly.
He could draw.
Exactly. That's the difference. That's them appropriating certain Japanese style and anime and manga influences, but putting their own. This has none of that in there.
So it's not like he's taking that and putting his own spin.
Right.
Or he's using it to influence his own style, but still doing his own thing.
Right.
Well, when you say his own thing, I mean, basically what it means is that if you're looking at... Look at how many artists were influenced by Michael Golden, Art Adams, Neil Adams, Jack Kirby, Gil Kane. I mean, most of your Bronze Age comics could have probably been traced back to people studying how to draw Gil Kane's anatomy. I mean, he basically simplified anatomy and made it dynamic enough for comics. Mm-hmm. I mean, so that's different. But the thing is, when you're sitting down and you're doing your work, you don't have a picture of Gil Kane's, like a page of Gil Kane's work that you're basically looking at it and you're drawing it or tracing it or lightboxing it or whatever. You're just taking that style. You're being influenced by that style. I mean, that happens all the time in comics, and then you kind of grow out of it. Travis Charest started out as a Jim Lee clone.
Yes.
Terry Dodson started out as an Adam Hughes clone. I mean, Barry Windsor Smith started out as a Jack Kirby clone. If you look at his early Avengers annual, or I think it was an annual, it's basically Jack Kirby completely, not necessarily swiped, but appropriated the style. Mm-hmm. And then he stopped doing that and appropriated the pre-Raphaelite style. So
I think
it's
there's
the same thing.
Ladrone, that artist, Ladrone.
Right.
Ladrone, he looked a lot like Kirby earlier
Kirby
on.
and Mobius.
Yeah. But now he's really...
But the difference is that he makes his own artwork within those styles. It's a huge difference. Like you said, appropriating your style is a huge difference than actually taking someone's drawing, redrawing it, tweaking a couple of things on there, and then saying that I never heard of this guy, or I didn't draw it from this thing, or I mean, this again. Don't want to go on a tangent, but Michael, is it Michael Hoffman?
Oh, Frazetta? The Frazetta?
Right.
Yeah,
I mean,
Mike Hoffman, yeah.
Very talented artist, does his own work, does it in a very influenced Frazetta style, but from what I understand...
And he even signs his name.
Yes.
He signs his last name like Frazetta.
Very distinct... Yeah, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, the guy, and obviously everything's in the same style. It's a lot of sword and sorcery stuff and demons and, the Frazetta girl with the wide hips. But the thing is, I mean, for a long time, I don't think he ever even made mention of the fact that he's a huge Frazetta fan and drawing that style. I think now he does. And the guy's actually very interesting. His blog is very interesting. I mean, the guy, he's a talented artist, but he draws in a style that's not unique. But then again, I mean, you can say the same thing about a lot of artists in the past. They all have a similar thing. But the thing is, he's not drawing with like a book of he just learned that style.
Right.
It's like learning a language. He's learned that visual language.
Right.
This is someone who's... He's still using the Spanish to English dictionary, in other words. And this guy is not. He has not learned the language. He's just cutting and pasting. You know.
Well, the other thing that I noticed when I actually sat down to read these things is that Nick Simmons is credited as the creator and writer. He's also credited as the penciler, and then there's a different inker, there's different colors. But there's 3 art assistants on this book, and now I'm assuming that one of the art assistants at least is in charge of doing the backgrounds and the building, because that's just like manga. It's a team effort. But what I don't understand is on the cover here, and on the cover of the first issue too, it's Nick Simmons and Nam Kim. Nam Kim is one of the assistants. Why on normal comics you would have, for the credit on the cover, writer, artist, inker, right? So why is Nick Simmons crediting one of the art assistants instead of the inker? Now, here's what I think might happen. Someone might take the fall for Nick Simmons. No, I'm just...
I like this conspiracy theory. I like where this is going.
Yeah, because what if Nick Simmons didn't really draw the comic? He just used his name. He's an artist. People know it. What if with this Nam Kim guy... this is double advocate. What if the Nam Kim guy actually comes out and takes the blame for this?
Does that absolve... on the moon, either.
Yeah.
I mean, where's the proof? But we haven't been the last 40 years, people. I'm just saying. No,
So
yeah,
I mean, I that's what I saw. It's like, why is this guy's name on the cover unless he had more input than the inker and the colorist? Like, why is this one artist assistant on there?
yeah, that is an odd. I mean, it's odd in the fact that there are two other assistants on there too, which is kind of a weird thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, who knows necessarily if it's a situation where, but I think you're right for your first statement that this is probably the person that's like doing the probably 3D modeling for like this drawing, for example, has a pretty detailed on the first panel, pretty detailed 3-point perspective drawing of a building, probably done in like SketchUp or something like that, and then drawn over. I'm guessing, but we'll see. We'll see if that pans out. I feel bad that before when you saw like the difference, or you saw the similarities. Had you brought that up then, you would have been the godfather of this whole hullabaloo. But maybe you'll be in on this one because.
Which is really.
I mean, you never know.
That's true.
Because you did bring it up, but
again, it's I guess the mentality that I had is like meh, nothing new. But I obviously
wait. This sounds like Supertramp. Yeah, it does. It sounds like Supertramp. Who is this? Oh, that's not Supertramp. They're ripping off Supertramp. That distinctive keyboard sound.
Are you done?
Who are you mocking? Are you mocking?
I don't know.
No one in general. Everyone.
So
no one and everyone.
Okay, that's good. That's good. I mean, the thing. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, no, but like I say, it's nothing new. But the big hullabaloo is made by people who don't know that this has been going on. It's just news to them that American artists are swiping Japanese artists.
Well, I mean, it's not even the American or the Japanese thing. It's just artists that swipe artists. I mean,
but the manga, most of the fury is coming from the anime and manga.
And I think it's because
side.
It's Nick Simmons. It's because
I don't think.
No, I think it is. I think it's because it's Mr. Cool Kid, son of Gene Simmons, rich kid, show on television, and now he's going to come in
and he's writing comics.
Yeah, he's going to.
What the hell, man? Where are your bones made?
Pretty much,
yeah.
And I honestly think that's part of it. That there are people who look at him and he. And I'm not saying that's how he presents himself.
No,
but it's like that he has this sense of entitlement, and he's going to come in, and if you look at it on the websites and all that, he's supposed to be promoting this new vision, and it's all the fluff and stuff that Radical is going to say when they're pushing a talent,
right.
Trying to get people into it. This guy comes in, he presents this stuff, and that's why it's such a huge hullabaloo.
Right.
Now, if it wasn't that name. If it was some other Joe Schmo, I'm not saying that people wouldn't give him crap for it, but I don't think it would generate that much of it.
It wouldn't be.
Well, I agree. Well, exactly. That's well, you are right about that because it's the name.
Holy crap! Did you mark that, folks? What's the time on that? What was the time on that?
I didn't hear anything.
He said I was right.
There'll be like a distortion in the tape, and I'll be like,
yeah, exactly.
Go on.
No, but that's what brings this story to a high profile is
Right.
because it is Nick Simmons.
Right. Well, that's what I've been trying to say.
A quick question, because I'm not familiar with Radical. Do they do anything else that's manga-ish? Manga.
No. Not that I'm aware
most
of.
likely the editors have no idea.
Well, exactly.
They haven't read
That's
Bleach.
why I'm not blaming Radical
Yeah.
because the editors and I mean they're in the American comic industry,
Right.
not in the business of publishing manga. They're not in the business of knowing
Right.
what is going on in the manga sector.
And even if they did, I mean, unless it's incredibly blatant, I don't think the Radical guys are going to. Again, like I said in the last segment, are going to tell Nick Simmons no. You can't do this manga book for us because we think it looks a little too similar to other things right now.
Well, but what you brought up before, Jose, the notion of this changing things and making it harder for things, there probably will be things written in the contracts in the future that say, if there's something this is derivative of someone else's work, or there's a legal issue, it'll probably lay more on the side of the creator, because the creator's not. And again, I think a lot of that is with editors don't really have the same function they used to have back in the 70s and 80s and all that. They don't. They basically massage the talent. They don't necessarily direct the talent.
Yeah, right.
So
Right.
That's the truth.
I could go for a massage.
wow, this went to a really creepy place.
Anything else?
I didn't mean that literally. It was more of a metaphor, but.
All right. If anything new to add?
No, I think that's pretty much it.
I'm really looking forward to hearing what you folks think out there. Of course, this is not by any means the end of the debate. We're just, again, as on this show, as we do every week, just talking about the stuff that matters in the comic shops. So we look forward to your comments not only here on the channel, but over on the blog, where we have our Chew contest going on right now. You can win an autographed copy of Chew, signed by John Layman. Just check out the blog. I'll try to fit that link in there. There's going to be a bunch of links here today, so that you guys can check that out and enter the contest. And I can't make the announcement yet that I was talking about last week. I can't make it yet. I'm waiting for clearance. Okay, the announcement is I have a new comic book coming out. And provided I don't jinx myself, it will be my first monthly book. My first monthly. So I will be writing a monthly soon, and I'm in the middle of writing it now. What it is and when it will be coming out, I cannot say yet. But I expect you folks out there who have been on me again and again and again, when something new coming out, when it's out, that you buy it and you tell your friends about it. And I also have a promotion set up with another website that is associated with the property I will be working on. We will be doing a promotion for the book, and yes, I will include that promotion here too for CCW TV.
I have one question.
Yes.
Is there any celebrity sons involved in this?
Not anymore.
No? Okay.
Not anymore.
Like Paul Stanley's daughter maybe involved in it. Ace Frehley's nephew. He's sweet. He's doing the coloring.
He's doing coloring, yeah. Ace. So, who was your favorite Kiss?
When I was a kid, it was most definitely Gene Simmons. I mean, I remember watching Phantom of the Park, and which is a
Phantom of the Amusement Park?
Is that what amusement park? Or
the Phantom of the something?
I wasn't a fan of the opera, but whatever it was basically the Kiss. Was that a made-for-TV movie? It was
made for TV movie. It's awesome,
and just being like totally into it, loving Gene Simmons. When I was a kid, we actually had those big 12-inch Gene Simmons dolls.
I remember those.
And my cousin and I used acetone to take the paint off the face so we can find out what Gene Simmons looks like. And that was the big things nobody knew what anyone looked like. And man, we were dumb kids. We were dumb kids.
Well, you had to repaint it flesh color.
No, I didn't. Yeah, well, when you did it, it was basically like that kind of grayish color. But I mean, you got the notion. Incredibly dumb. Cousin.
Ace,
cousin and I were dumb.
Space Ace. Ace Frehley's character was my favorite.
Really? That's like the girliest one.
I know, but I liked how he could hitch a ride and teleport. Remember how he'd go like that and then
I don't know. Maybe he's not the girl. Maybe Pussycat.
That was Peter Criss.
But he was called like the Pussycat, right? Or the cat.
The kitty cat. Something like that. The cat.
Was it just a cat?
I forget.
Probably a better name.
What was
I was a huge fan of the Ankh, the guy who took the place of Peter Criss. I'm a huge Ankh fan. How about you? Who did you like?
I don't like Kiss.
When you were a kid, you had nothing. I mean, when I was a kid, I probably didn't have any interest in the music, but they were like living.
I tell you one thing that I remember when I was a kid about Kiss is back when I was a young kid, they used to sell these little candies in the shape of LP albums. They were gum.
Yeah, I remember those.
I remember buying the Kiss one.
Yeah.
Yeah, they came. They were just like a gum.
They had a little comic book in there too, right?
Yeah.
Those are like huge.
That's the only thing I ever remember for Kiss when I was a kid.
Yeah. And I remember when the Kiss trading cards came out too. Those were huge.
Actually, in my studio, I have a big, was like a 10-inch Gene Simmons doll. No fooling.
Yeah.
I have it sitting right next to my big RoboCop and my big.
The one that McFarlane did.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah. But I mean, it's pretty cool looking. I got a lot of crap in my studio that just stuff that I liked as a kid and inspirational stuff. So Gene Simmons, your son let me down. Just kidding. Seems like a nice kid on the show.
I'm sure he is. All right, folks, we're going to end this there. Mr. Melendez here looks like he's done with all this Kiss talk.
Best Kiss song. Which one? I'm a fan of Beth. I think it's Does that happen all the time? Does it just walk away?
Never happened.
It happens constantly. We're hanging out.
Okay, folks.
Sleeping.
For Jose Melendez and Avi, I'm Elliot Serrano. Thanks for joining us.
It was a lot of fun.